Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today we're out at North Bay, which is near Belfair, Washington, on the Case Inlet of the Puget Sound, and we're going to be harvesting Manila clams. Now, one thing I wanted to point out before we get going is that the parking here at North Bay is very limited. So I'll quickly scan around and just show you. So you definitely want to make sure you get here early enough to get yourself a place to park. If you don't make it, then there's other options for clamming. You can drive around to Oakland Bay or some of the other state parks that are near here. But if you're coming to North Bay, make sure you come early enough for parking. All right, let's go grab the gear and let's get out on the beach and start collecting those Manila clams. Come on. All right, guys, when you come down the trail to the beach, you can go a little bit to the left and you'll see the power lines out there. And so those power lines are the southernmost limit. So you can't go past that. What I like to do is I go north, so I take a right at the end of the trail and I find myself a good spot on the beach and I start digging for the clams. So if you look out here, this is where we're at, and we're gonna start digging right down over here. All right, let's get to it. Hey guys, this is what we're looking for clam shows. So if you look down here, here's one. There's one, there's one, here's some more. So this looks like a good area, and this is where we're gonna start. What I like to use is a small, like handheld rake. A lot of people will also use a long garden rake, but I find that these work a lot better. And then you'll want to have something to measure the clams. So the clams out here, they have to be 1.5 inches at the widest point, and then you can keep them. Anything bigger than 1.5 inches you can keep, and that's just so that they're able to spawn at least one cycle. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get going and start digging in. And look right here. I mean, I didn't even move an inch. Look at this. So here's a clam right here. Already one Manila clam. And so on the measuring point, you're just gonna try to stick that through. And this is clearly bigger. See how it doesn't go through at the widest point? So there's one clam right there already. Okay guys, so you see there's a lot of clam shows still left in here. So this is where I'm gonna get going. There's even one, you start to find them that are even exposed right here. So here's another one that's just easily, now this one, let's see. Yep, see how it doesn't go through? This is a good one. So there's 2 clams that we found in probably 30 seconds. So, all right guys, so I'm just gonna keep raking this, and one thing I like to do to save time is I just rake through, and all the clams I find, I just kind of put them off into a pile right here. See, I've started a pile. And then that way at the end I can just measure all at once. So it saves a little bit of time instead of having to stop 1, 2, individually measuring them. I can turn around and I just do a whole bunch all at once and then put the good ones in the bucket. So I'm gonna slide the bucket up here and I'm gonna keep raking until I find a bunch. And really, you don't have to go super deep to find these. So you see, I'm just barely raking this up. The other thing, as Tyler just pointed out, back up here, you'll want to go back through these piles, because look at this giant one that I would have missed had I not gone back up here. So that's another thing that you'll do. Just keep your eye, especially as we're going, and the sand is sticking to it. So just keep your eye out and keep digging, and you'll find them. So here we are. I've got a pile of clams. Just going to show you really quickly how I can get through them really quick. So I've got my measure here. It's 1.5 inches across. I drop that clam's good to go. Another one, good to go. And you just start measuring at the widest part, and as long as it doesn't go through, it's good. Now I can clearly see this one's small, but I'm going to show you. It just drops right through. So this guy's going to go back over here for later harvesting. Okay, and I'll continue to go through these. Here's one. Ooh. And I would rather err on the side of them being okay, so this one's good. But I'd rather err on the side of the clam being too big than not big enough. So we'll keep going through. And I've already got, see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This is 10. This is how quickly it goes. We've been out here maybe 5 minutes. All right. Going through, it's good. All right, Now we're going to keep doing this until we get to our limit, which is 40 clams. Now one thing I like to do is I just like to kind of cover everything back up when I'm done. And it really just helps the clams to survive, giving them a chance to get back in protected where they're away from predators. So you see, as we're getting down a little bit, the clams nearer to the water, so that are maybe down in the 1 foot zone, those are a little bit larger. So you don't want to stay, as the tide's receding and going out. We got here about 2 hours early. It's going to be a minus tide today, so we're probably at around the maybe 2 foot line right now. But as it starts going out, you just want to keep moving down the beach and until you find a good zone where there's some really good sized ones. So these are, look at the size of these 3 that we found here in just a few seconds. I mean, you don't even have to measure that. These ones are clearly big enough. So there's 3 right there, 3 really nice ones. So we're just gonna keep scout this area here, and maybe about a kind of a 2 foot wide zone, and then we'll move down and scout that as well. So these are a little bit smaller. So with these small ones, we're just gonna kind of leave them right there. I don't want to waste a lot of time with those. This one that's small, because compared to this, look at the size difference. Okay, so this is what we're really after, and this one, it doesn't even pass the mustard. So you know, these ones are too small, but this one, this is the type that we don't even have to look at. That's what we're after. Alright guys, so I gave the clams an initial rinse, and one thing I like to do is try to get as much dirt off as possible on the drive home. That just makes everything so much easier. So I kind of scrubbed through these really quickly and got most of the mud off, and so I'm just going to transfer them into this other bucket, which has got clean water in it, just to give it a quick rinse. Another quick rinse. You can see some of those clams look really nice. And the other thing I'm checking for is I definitely want to make sure that I'm not taking any ones home that are broken or that are already dead. So I'm making sure, I'm just checking to make sure that they're all closed and that they're not filled with dirt. So I'm just going to go through these really quick. This is exactly why we rinsed them off, because look at how much stuff we were going to end up taking home. Well, look at all that sand and stuff. There you are, from the light. So that's exactly why we cleaned it out, guys. So as I'm going through and I'm transferring clams, I just want to show you this one. So this one has made it through the rinse twice, and I just happened to move it, and look at that. This is what I don't want to take home. So this is why I'm double checking these things 2-3 times, because I don't want to take this home. So that one was no good. That means we can now find one more good clam and put it in here. Alright guys, so here's the last one. We just found it. That replaces that one that was no good, so I'm going to go rinse it off. Alright guys, as you can see, it was pretty easy to go out and get those Manila clams. It took no time at all. If you like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up and a comment down below, and be sure to check out the other content on this channel. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Until next time, take care.